Parker went from 88 miles an hour to 94 miles an hour in his bullpen. And back in September, we hopped on the YouTube channel to talk about his experience inside of the program. But in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we did it, how we took Parker from 88 all the way to 94. So stick around to the end to see exactly how we did this with Parker. So back when Parker hopped in the program originally, he filled out his onboarding form like every one of our athletes does when they hop in the program. And this is the video he sent over. And this is a great video because it's a side angle. We can really see mechanics. And this is really preferred. Obviously, as you can see here, I guess, Parker's a pretty big guy. He's at a Division I school and just wanted to throw harder. So this is the original video he sent over. So I'm going to break down exactly kind of what I saw and then how we fixed it and show you the end result. But the main thing with Parker here is, as I said, really big dude, wanted to use his body just with his size and just wasn't unlocking that. So the first thing that I noticed is there's zero drift towards home plate throughout his delivery. So we get to peak leg lift here. I'm going to draw on it. So we get to peak leg lift here and his momentum hasn't changed. Now, do you have to drift towards home plate by the time your leg hits peak leg lift? No, you don't. But once your leg hits peak leg lift, you need to start drifting now or once it gets there. You cannot drop into your back leg before that. You need to drift towards home plate. So Parker gets to peak leg lift here. As we go through a little bit more, just drop straight in the back leg here. And as you can kind of see from this angle, he gets really quad dominant and the knee starts to go over the toes and he's really rotating towards third base. The knee kind of goes out and around. So that was the first thing that I saw when we got sent over this video. So the other thing I noticed was the ball is facing second base here. His wrist is positioned towards second base, which puts a lot of stress on our elbow. That's not how we want the positioning of the baseball, especially at foot strike, but overall in general. We don't want to be in this super pronated position. Are you going to pronate when you release the ball? Yes, that's natural. That's what happens. But we don't want to be in that position. We don't want to face the ball towards second base. Some of you have been taught that. Please stop doing that if you can. But that was the other thing I noticed. And then as we go through here a little bit more in Parker's delivery, there wasn't a ton of hip to shoulder separation. They're kind of rotating together as one piece here to an extent. The hip is starting to come through here and the shoulder is a little behind it. So he's getting a little hip to shoulder separation, but overall they're just kind of coming through together. And then the lead leg block, there really isn't one. So he lands here and then he just kind of floats through the delivery. There's no real force in that front leg that when it hits, it really helps with his rotation. That left hip starts to pull back as the right hip comes forward. It just kind of doesn't really do anything. It really, like, he lands and then he just kind of goes towards home plate. You know, he almost lands, like if he stopped here, it would look like he was landing in a fielding position, which obviously is not what you want to do. You don't want to land in a fielding position when you throw the baseball. But this was the first video we got from Parker, and those are really the things that I noticed throughout his delivery, and some of the things that I was like, these are very simple fixes for Parker in order for him to get, you know, some unlocked velocity that's just been waiting there. I mean, he's a big dude. So how did we fix the things that I presented in the first video that I saw in the assessment? Well, number one is we want to make Parker an athlete again. The biggest thing that I noticed throughout that delivery is a lot of moving parts that show me that Parker's been a PO for a really long time and kind of got away from things that probably made him a really dominant guy in high school and early years in college. For context, Parker was very, very good as a freshman. Not saying he wasn't after that, but freshman year in college, he was a dude, and we wanted to get back to that. So what we did, and a part of his program, was being an athlete again. And the way that I really wanted to attack that with Parker was a lot of athletic catch play. So we tried kind of throws from shortstop, throws from the outfield, kind of off-footed throws. And then the one that we landed on that really seemed to translate for Parker were catcher throws. So that was really a huge part of his program, were these catcher throws, and getting back to being just fluid and short with the arm path for him, and see how much better and explosive his body was. As I said, we did some shortstop throws as well, outfield throws as well, but the main ones that we really, really landed on were these catcher throws. His body just moved so much better. The hips rotated better. Overall, the arm action was a lot cleaner. He was just more of an athlete. So that was really like the first thing that we handled. The other thing we did do is we had him work on his drift a lot. Sadly, I cannot find the videos of that. I know they're somewhere, but they've gotten lost in the shuffle after all this time. So I can't find those videos, but basically the main thing that we were trying to do with the drift is for him to understand that he needs to drift towards home plate before he dropped into his back leg. And you'll notice in the next video I send that he 1000% accomplished that task. But I think the biggest thing for Parker throughout the entirety of the program was really just getting back to being an athlete again, and this clean arm path and this clean hip rotation. Like, this is absolutely fantastic. Just very quick, very athletic, get the ball out. And it really did translate to the mound. So this is the bullpen where Parker hit 94 miles an hour, and you can really see the difference in this. And then after this clip, I'm going to show you in game him hitting 94 miles an hour with an also gross slider, by the way. We'll look at that a little bit too. But in this video, you can really see the improvements that he made throughout his entire delivery. There were still some things that needed to be addressed with the drift overall. Like, we were still working on that a little bit. But in this bullpen, he threw 94 miles an hour. And if we go through here, the drift is there. It's subtle, but he is moving towards home plate once that leg hits peak leg lift. So that was a huge plus. It was like, all right, we're finally gaining momentum towards home plate. We go through here a little bit more. The thing that we didn't fix that was still kind of a work in progress is the ball was still facing second base, but you can't fix everything all at once. It's just not the way it works. If you're trying to fix everything, you end up fixing nothing. So was super happy with the drift here. Rotation looks so much better. Really good hip to shoulder separation here. The hip is finishing and the shoulder is behind, which is really nice. And the block is so much better. Like, that's a legit block there. Could it be improved? Yeah, of course. I think when you look at some of these mechanics, whether it's, looking at Parker's right now, or you look at guys in the big leagues, like Tariq Skubal, for example, you would try to fix a million things about Tariq Skubal because the way he throws is not how you would teach it. But that doesn't mean you should. The guy throws 100, so there's no point. Parker threw 94 in this bullpen. Like, are there things that we can improve on? Of course, but why would we try to change a ton of crap when the dude's throwing in the mid-90s in a bullpen? So there were a lot of things in here that really, really improved based on some of the things that we did in the program, and I was really happy to see this. Again, in this bullpen, I didn't see the velocity until after, so I was just like, we look really good. I wonder what the numbers are at, and Parker texted me, got up to 94, and it was like, holy crap, right? Like 88 to 94 is insane, and you can really see the differences just in those two clips that I showed earlier, right? The first clip that he sent in his assessment, and then now, like, he's just a much better mover, a lot cleaner of movements. And now we're going to look at the video of him in game that actually has the velocity attached to, which is really cool. So this is Parker's first outing back with NDSU, and in this scrimmage, he hit 94 miles an hour, which is awesome, which is the next pitch here that I'm going to show you. But I think what happens a lot is athletes throw a very hard velocity in bullpens. I know guys who have hit 96 in bullpens and have never hit that in game. I know some of you probably have thrown way harder in bullpens than you have in games. That's a mental block. So the main thing is, it was awesome that Parker hit 94 in that bullpen. I was super pumped for him. But if that didn't translate to the game, I don't care. And neither does NDSU, and neither do professional scouts. Like, it needs to happen in game. It needs to happen when it matters. So as we watch this inter squad here, 94 miles an hour, it was like awesome. Like, it translated over to the game, which is great. And his first pitch of the game, I believe, was 93. Yeah, 93. So that's awesome too. So he really sat in that like 92 to 94 range, which is awesome, and threw a very elite slider, like a gyro slider at 88, like upper 80s, which is unbelievable as well. So really, like, showed the complete pitcher that he is, with really, really gross stuff and a fastball in the mid 90s. A lot of this is just kudos to Parker and all the work that he put in with us, and really executing on the program and just believing that it was the right thing for him. And the results speak for themselves. I mean, he's at a Division I school. He's throwing 94 miles an hour. He's got an 88 mile an hour gyro slider. Like, he's going to be very, very good for this program. And he's also setting himself up in a great spot for professional baseball. But this is really how we did it for Parker. We addressed the things that we thought were needed based on the first assessment video that he sent us, and the results speak for themselves. I mean, he went from 88 to 94, which is just unbelievable. He's throwing his gyro slider at 88 now. So kudos to Parker. He's an absolute stud muffin. And if you want results just like Parker and all the other athletes we have in our program, click the link down below, book a call with us, and we'll see if you're the right fit for our program. And as always, stud muffins, go prove them wrong.